That's a dub, folks. That is a dub right then and there. 3-6 now are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They advance to 3-6 and win their second home game of the year. Their second home win since the name change, and they do it in pretty decent fashion, 20-10 versus the New Orleans Saints, a team that is very identical to the Steelers in terms of injuries and issues, but the Steelers came to play today.
Yeah, they did. Coming off a bye, a much-needed bye, the Steelers definitely had to find their identity and work on some things and make a few changes, which we saw very minimal changes during the bye week. But going up against the Saints after the bye, Steelers overall looked pretty well. They did pretty solid.
And a big reason of that is because of the long-awaited season return of Trent Jordan Watt,
the reigning defending NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And boy, was his presence felt immediately. Made the first couple plays in the run game. He got consistent pressure. It really opened the field a lot for some of the guys in the front seven in the pass rush interiorly, and especially for Highsmith, who I think he had 2 sacks today.
Yes, he did.
A lot of people benefited from the return of T.J. Watt. This defense absolutely did, only allowing 10 points all in the first half, shutting out the Saints in the second half. I ain't gonna lie, there was a time in the first half, and we even said at halftime where, of course, here we go, typical Steelers, right? We get up 10-0. We were up 10-0 at one point, and then we allowed the Saints to come back and tie it before halftime.
Yeah.
Typical Steelers up by double digits and just get conservative. They sure did in the first half.
Yeah, they played that way. They looked that way, and we were worried that they were going to remain that way in the second half. Ultimately, that was not the case, and thank God it was not.
Yes, because, of course, the third quarter was no points were scored by any team. But once that fourth quarter hit, I don't know what was injected into the Steelers or what was said on the sideline, or what. Man, it was probably Renegade. It had to be. As soon as Renegade hit, the defense started making plays. The offense started to drain the clock and score some extra points and regain the lead and get back up to double digits. It had to have been Renegade. In the first half, it was the Pigeon Power. In the second half, it was Renegade. And it was Heinz Field. It was the energy that was brought to Heinz Field. And again, most of it has to do with the return of T.J. Watt.
Yes.
I'm feeling good after this. Obviously, we're not going to see a lot of these dubs this year, so I'll take any of them. But this is one of them where I'm feeling pretty good. So I'll take it, man. I'll take this dub. Again, a lot of it wasn't really consistent, as it never is for the Steelers. Some of it was very conservative, especially in the first half, especially for this offense. In my book, we left a lot of points off the board because there were a couple times where we were watching the Steelers offense and we're like, hey, this is a promising drive.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This promising drive ended up in a field goal and it was missed by Matthew Wright. Oh, we only got 3 points out of it. Right? Like all this, we had a couple promising drives and we left so many points off the board. Ultimately, we still got the dub, but those are things that you want to see this offense grow on with a rookie quarterback, which will start with Kenny Pickett. Let's be honest, he did not have a great game today.
It was not a great start to the game for the first half. The first half, he was scrambling a little too much.
He was panicking in the pocket.
His passes were a little overthrown, inaccurate, a little forced at the same time.
He wasn't making good decisions. Let's be real. I mean, I know he's a rookie making rookie mistakes, but he just was not doing well in the first half. He did a little better in the second half and ultimately led to him doing better and looking better. He felt the confidence in him. He did very well on the ground using his legs.
Yep.
He even let the players know after the play. He's like, yeah, I can run with my legs. You may not be used to this from the Steelers, but I'm a quarterback that can run with my legs. And I think he needs to do it a little more often because good things happened when he did. And he even got a sneak that got us the score, which led to the final score here. So Kenny Pickett, man, I'll give him this. He didn't look good in the first half, but he came up in the second half big, used his legs a lot, looked a little better in the passing game, and made plays when it mattered the most.
Yeah, and let's hope that he continues to grow from this.
And I want to see him continue to grow as a quarterback. And some of that has to do with him, but also some of it has to do with the fact that, man, like, God, can these receivers run free? Can these guys run different routes rather than 2-yard hitches and 5-yard comebacks and sideline dunks and out routes? Like, open up the playbook. Open up the route tree a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, Kenny looked rough today. I'm not excusing him whatsoever. I know he's a rookie, but I'm not making excuses for him. But my God, can these receivers, one, execute, but at the same time, can you give them routes where they can get open? If you run little rinky-dinky routes, they're not getting open. You're not helping out Kenny. You're not helping out the offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame. And that falls on Canada and the way he draws up plays.
Yeah.
I will give Canada this. This is one of his better called games. You won't hear me say that often.
No. This was definitely one of Canada's better days, especially in the second half. But, Canada, considering that you still have your job somehow, some way, you still got to open up your playbook, fix your scheme a little bit, do something that can help this team win.
But he did call a decent game, and the offense got 20 points because of it. So I'll take it. The receivers stepped up. Let's take a look at some of these stats here, actually, because the receivers stepped up when it mattered to. DJ got a nice long reception late in the game. George Pickens got a rushing touchdown. He stepped up when the ball was in his hands. Same thing with Muth. Even Steven Sims stepped in for the now gone Claypool, and it seemed like we just robbed the Bears because I didn't miss Claypool one time in this game. We got a second for him.
Yeah, somehow, some way.
You see what he's doing in Chicago.
King Khan finessed the Bears as of right now.
Right, but you see, the biggest talking point, one of the best positives from the Steelers' offense is most definitely the rushing attack.
Yeah, the rushing attack was the best rushing attack that we have seen since last year.
Look at Najee Harris. Season high in rushing yards, almost 100. You might as well bank on 100. He didn't hit triple digits, technically, but you might as well. 20 carries, 99 yards. That is a 5-yard average. He doesn't see that often.
This season, no.
And he had a long of 36, which was an incredible run by Najee Harris. Saw the hole, wide open left lane, broke a tackle, ran for more. Great run by Najee. There was actually a couple runs where he broke away for a couple first downs. It wasn't one of those games where he broke free for an 8-yard gain and that's his longest. He broke free for a couple nice 10-yard pickups. And the same thing happened for Jaylen Warren. He stepped up late in the game and helped sealing it, not only in the rushing game, but in the receiving game. On that drive where Pickett sneaked it in for a touchdown, he had 2 receiving first downs.
Yeah.
These running backs stepped up today. Even Najee.
And I'm glad they did.
He actually looked his best today. The best he has all season. I still like Warren a little more. I think he's looking a little better, but I have to credit Najee. He looked great.
Now, Najee needed a big bounce-back game. He needed a big performance game, and this was the game to do it. I'm glad he did.
And you even see Pickett, 51 yards on the ground. All this, and Pickens, 23 yards in his rushing touchdown. This led to 217 rushing yards total from this team and 2 rushing touchdowns.
When was the last time we had that? I can't recall.
Probably since the Browns game last year and Ben's last
You
home
might
game.
be right. I have no idea.
But this is the best the rushing offense has looked all game. We had many holes, many gaps. The running backs ran free. They fought for yardage. They looked clean. They looked fresh. Of course, Pickett and his legs. We need to see that more because good things happen when he uses those. I mean, it's just great to see, man.
And this was a great game by the rushing attack. And I hope to see more of this throughout the rest of the season.
You see the receiving game. Deontay was our leading receiver, 63 yards, a long of 36, which was down the right sideline. His biggest play of the season, probably. We don't say his name often this year, especially with him being paid $18 million. He has yet to even get a touchdown, but he stepped up when he needed to. Same thing with these receivers. Warren was our second leading receiver at 40 yards. You see what impact these guys made when it mattered the most. These guys stepped up. That's one thing I'll give this offense. We're not going to say that very often. We're not going to say that every week, but for this game, you got to like it. You got to take the good for as little as it is.
Yeah, overall, the offense was really, really solid. But now for the defense, and because of T.J. Watt's presence and because of T.J. Watt back, and we didn't have Minka in this game, and we won't have Minka for the next couple games.
No, but instead, we had recently activated from IR DeMonte Casey come in. He started in place of Minka. He got our first interception of the game, which thanks to that, the offense took advantage for once off turnovers and got points on the board.
Yep.
And even Levi Wallace got the pick that sealed the game, right? A deep pass, and he was beautiful coverage, made the play. Even Millette made a great play on Chris Olave at some point in the game. I mean, the secondary, even though they lost Minka, they stepped up. And even the pass rush stepped up, man. They got they got 2 sacks, which was from Highsmith, but they caused constant pressure. Robert Spillane was our leading tackler. He had 1 tackle for loss, which was on a 4th down stuff. So
Danny Dalton, yeah. Defense was great this game.
So I'd honestly say there was definitely some inconsistencies, as there always is with the Steelers, but all in all, a very good team win. Very good team win. And I'll take it. And I'm actually feeling good. Heading into, against the Bengals, I think we host that game, right? We do, because
I believe we do, yeah. The first was in Cincinnati, and that was a crazy Week 1 game.
Yes, it was.
But these are 2 entirely different teams, from Week 1. The Steelers are looking a little bit worse than how they performed in that game, and the Bengals, they're looking to to get their identity back, if not already.
Yeah, and they're trying to even the score after the loss.
And it's definitely a much tougher matchup for the Steelers, even at Heinz Field.
It is.
You know, the Saints, I'm not trying to discredit the Steelers and how they performed. They performed very good in this game. But this was a Saints team that was quite bruised up.
And now they fall to 3-7. But this is also AFC North rivalry we're talking about next week.
Yes, we are.
So
these two teams know each other very well.
So hopefully they can take this momentum from Heinz and take that back into Heinz next week for our second straight home game.
And possibly even sweep the Bengals.
That would be great. And possibly go to 4-6 next week. But let's take this win. Let's take the energy. Let's take the momentum and take that into next week as we return home to face a heated rival. I'm feeling good.
This was a good team win. This is a good team performance. I'm glad that they were able to perform like this and get a win like this after the bye week.
Yep, the team stepped up when they needed to. A very inconsistent and conservative first half, but once that fourth quarter hit, this team woke up and played.
Yep.
They woke up and absolutely sealed it when they needed to. They stepped up, and that's the credit I'll give them, man. Probably won't say it every week, but, for once this year, they did it when they needed to.
But now it's time to look forward to AFC North football.
Yes, it is.
And the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm ready for it.
Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. How are you feeling about this win? How are you feeling about the game? How are you feeling about TJ Watt's return, man? He looked fresh. He looked ready to go. He looked like nothing was wrong with him.
No.
And I think next week, man, I think he's hungry for some Joe Burrow. So we'll see what happens next week. We'll see how the injury report goes along and see if we can get some certain guys back for the Bengals game. But yeah, we'll take this win. We'll take this energy. We'll take this momentum. And better take it into next week. But I'm feeling good. See you in the next one. Here we go, Steelers.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!